like a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here, I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together, it's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Step back to see the truth around you from a distance.
Greetings, glitter goddesses. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, January 9th. It's 2 p.m. Eastern USA time. And I think I might need to adjust my camera really quickly. Let me just see if I need to do that. How's it going? Can you all see me and hear me? Okay. Yeah. There's a little adjusting that needs to be done. My my camera control, my software that I use to broadcast, it's been having problems for a while. I think I mentioned a little bit last week that it was having some problems. But it recently started crashing on launch. I uninstalled it. I reinstalled it. It continued to crash on launch. So I had to get new broadcasting software. So what's all this on my desk? I don't want to know. I'm just going to clean it. Just going to clean it. All right. So, last week we discussed, let me just start with this since they're on my desk. Last week we discussed that tin roofing caps are going out of use in the roofing industry in the U.S. So they're not going to be widely available like at hardware stores anymore. And so this is a sort of once they're gone situation. The industry is switching to plastic. I was recommended to check eBay by some by a few individuals. Vesta was one I know. Somebody else emailed me as well. So I went on eBay and I found a seller who was selling 10-pound bags of galvanized roofing caps. Okay, so I ordered them. They ship out of Jacksonville, so that's nice. I got them basically overnight. The only question is, are they magnetic? So let's find out. They should be, but you never know. So, yeah, they are. They are. So, they came, no problems. I didn't weigh the bag, but it sure... This was a 5-pound box. So I will tell you the name of the seller on eBay if you need to get some. And I'll probably order some more just to make sure we always have them. And then I don't know what we're going to do once we're all kind of out. But what a problem. All right. So I'm going to refill my box and then I'll let Mr. Lifeguard have the rest of these for the store. But, yep. Tin roofing caps are going out of style. It's been a good run, everyone. It's been a good run. All right, so where did I get these from? Let me see. The seller is pop_sales. Let me get a link if you're in the chat. If you're not in the chat, just go on eBay and type roofing cap and see who comes up. But pop_sales is, yeah, it is Sandra who gave us the bad news. Sandra's the one who revealed. But look, we don't shoot the messenger around here, you know, because Sandra told us that that this was going to be a problem. Now we know. Now we know. I'm going to buy another 20 pounds. while I'm in here. Maybe I'll buy 3 pounds, so I have a total of 50 pounds. Okay. All right. And then Fasteners USA is also a place that you can get these tin caps. Vesta found them. They're more expensive there than an eBay, but if you want them to be, you know, totally legit, then oh, Monica bought a metal die so that she can make her own. All right, so I just bought 30 more pounds. I just bought 30 more pounds. Mr. Lifeguard's going to be like, okay, great. Oh, he's in the chat. He's in the chat saying he already updated the store inventory with these. So yeah, so tin roofing caps are not going to be sold anymore in the US because the industry is shipping to plastic. Lowe's and Home Depot are already sold out on their websites. You know, you can always ask at your local store. And then you can find them on eBay and Fastener USA. You can find them on eBay and Fastener USA. So that's the situation. It's all good. Mr. Lifeguard's stealing his caps. You want this baggie of caps?
I don't, but
You'll take it?
Was like 12 in here?
I don't know.
Take it.
It's not mine.
Well, it's not mine either.
All
I
right.
get 25 or 50. I don't do these smaller amounts like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone.
What I have to put up with. What I have to put up with. So, let me see when I ordered from him the first time. Wednesday, January 8th. No. That's when they were delivered. I ordered on Sunday, January 5th. So I ordered them on the 5th and I got them yesterday on the 8th. I got them on the 8th. So plenty of time. They came quickly. Again, I live in the same state as the seller. They shipped out of Jacksonville, Florida, so they didn't have far to go. But yeah, so check eBay, check Fastener USA. But this is a when they're gone situation. So, you know, stock up to the best of your ability. And then we are buying many pounds so that we'll have them to sell in smaller quantities going forward. And then maybe we'll figure something else out. All right, so the January book club book was chosen. All right, so we have the January book club book, and it is Cinder is what won by Marissa Meyer. Cinder by Marissa Meyer is the book that won. So we will be discussing this book on Thursday, January 30th. Thursday, January 30th. So I posted on Monday that this was the book. And we are going to be discussing it on the 30th. So I'm 31% of the way through it. Thanks, Kindle. I'm 31% of the way through it. So, so far so good. I don't have any major complaints. I had but you know, it can always go downhill. It can always go downhill. So who knows? Who knows? My rating system is currently basically good, bad, or meh. Or if you want to think of it as good, bad, or okay. I find most books fall into okay. It's very, very rare that a book falls into bad. And I think that's just because the publishers are gatekeepers. You know, they're making sure that really, truly bad books don't get published. But every once in a while, or if I read something self-published, that's always a gamble. It's always a gamble because there is no gatekeeper with a self-published book. There is no gatekeeper. but I'm trying to remember what the last like published by a publisher. My desk is sticky. You can see that I didn't get a new mat. Totally forgot to do that. Oopsie doodle. Oopsie doodle. Maybe we'll do that before Scrappy Bowl. But there's definitely something sticky on my desk. Okay. All right. So Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I think it's her first book. I have tried a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser on my mat before. Not this mat, but other mats by the same brand. And it takes the lines off. It took the lines off. So, oh well. All right. So, what we are doing now is we are working on mini page C, as in Charlie. And I have an idea for what I want to do in the large pocket. So let's work on it. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking let's make a Polaroid folder. A folderoid. A folderoid. All right. So we're going to make a folderoid. All right. Yeah, more crafter vocabulary. Folderoids. All right. So this is my thoughts. This is my thoughts. I should write a book. I should write a book. Then I could give myself one star for grammar. All right. So on the inside, we open it up and it's two Polaroids in a wallet. All right. But I'd buy it. The problem is when we fold it, we can't have stuff right up on this. This is the center fold. If we want it to fold pretty flat, we can't have the Polaroids go towards that center. We're going to need a little bit of extra room. And so what I'm going to do is we just need to accommodate for that. So if we want this window to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, so that we can put a 4x6 folder underneath it with 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Then we add to the length, we add 1 1/4 inches when we do these Polaroids. So that makes it 7. So this is 7 inches. And then here we add just 1/2 inch, so it's 4 1/4. And this is 4 1/4. And then what we need to do is figure out what the length is, because I want 1/8 of an inch in between. So 4 1/2 plus 4 1/2 is 8 1/2. But we're going to do 8 5/8. So that we have 1/8 of an inch in the middle there. All right, so to make this, we need one piece that is 8 5/8 by 7, and 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 7. And if we want to make 2 of them, all right, So we would need 2 of these because we have 2 sides to this pocket, and 4 of these is what we need to cut. All right. All right. Okay. Let's cut it up. Let's cut it up. All right. Let me get some flag blue cardstock. So we have 2 cut to 7 by 8 5/8. It's 4 1/4 plus 4 1/4, Sandra, not 4 1/2 plus 4 1/2. If I said 4 1/2, that was wrong. It's 4 1/4. All right, here's the other 8 5/8. All right, and so then we're doing 4 1/4 by 7. And another 4 1/4 by 7. And these are just of the remnants from cutting the 8 5/8 inch pieces. I was able to get 2 of those out of there. So now I'm going to check my scrap bag and see if I have anything I can cut down, which I definitely do. Good job, Gretchen. Gretchen finished the Triple D album, which is a huge one. All right, so we've got all 6 of our pieces now. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is score the 8 5/8 inch pieces down the center. So we will need a scoreboard that does center scoring. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to cut 2 more FAUX it's a folderoid. I'm going to cut 2 more of the of the Polaroids, and we'll put one on the cover as well of each one. So that way we'll get 3 photos in each of these. So I just need one more piece. Yeah, gotta add it to the dictionary. Gonna add it to the crafting dictionary. All right, so we've got all our pieces cut. Now we're gonna tape and do all that. So we're gonna be doing our so we've got our 6 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 7, and our 2 pieces that are 8 5/8 by 7 scored down the middle. Those you can just set aside for the moment. All right, so now these all need to get taped. And then we'll punch them. And that way we'll have tape all the way around. And we'll use the frame board to punch them, of course. So, I have had quite a week as far as like little annoying things that aren't really problems happening. One of the things that happened was during the holiday sales, I got a Kindle Paperwhite, and they gave me $60 for trading in my old Kindle Oasis. And I kept having problems with the Kindle Oasis, always running out of room, and it was being really slow. And I was like, maybe it's just time. The Paperwhite was on sale. The new Paperwhite's waterproof. The main reason I had gotten the Oasis in the first place was that it was waterproof. So I could read in the tub and by the pool and not have to worry about damaging it. So I was like, I'll just get the Paperwhite. It's cheaper. So I traded in my Oasis. And I got the Paperwhite, and that thing, I never liked it. It didn't fit on my tablet holder. It had all kinds of problems downloading books. It was such a pain all the time. Just problem after problem. And then it finally started having errors, getting errors and having error codes all the time. And after 3 calls to Amazon customer service, they're like, the guy was like, look, these are really simple devices. There's not a lot going on with them. You know, there's obviously something wrong with it. I think it's just a lemon and you should send it back. And I said, well, I'm kind of soured on Paperwhites, to be honest. Or, you know, I had an Oasis before. I really liked it. Can I just upgrade to an Oasis instead? So they actually gave me a credit so that I could upgrade to the Oasis because I was having problems with the Paperwhite, and then they said just buy yourself an Oasis and then return the Paperwhite for a refund. So that's what I did, and the Oasis came, and I'm happy again. And I've been reading a lot more, so I really, you know, realized that how annoying the Paperwhite was really getting to me. And this is how you know that I don't actually have any problems, because this is my problem. Like, oh, it didn't fit on my tablet stand. Oh, I mean, the Paperwhite was broken, but I also didn't like that it didn't fit on my tablet stand. You know, I can't hold things in my arms. You can't expect me to hold things with my hands at this point. Like, oh, it pretty much did not work right from day one, Priya. From like, it was problems out of the box. Out of the box. So that's why the guy said it's a lemon. That he thinks it's just a lemon. So, but then the Oasis, what they said was out of stock till the 15th. So I put, if you've ever had an Oasis, they're hard to hold. I mean, I know this is going to sound, again, this sounds like I recognize these are not real problems. Okay. I just want you to know that I know these are not real problems, but Paperwhites can be kind of hard to hold, or the Oasis can be kind of hard to hold, because it's metal. So, it's slippery because it's metal. So, it does need a case, or else it goes sliding around all the time. These are completely first world problems. But that's okay. I'm happy to have first world problems. Last year I had to go to the hospital, and I didn't appreciate that at all. So, is it heavier? I think they are 0.1 ounces apart in weight, and that the Paperwhite is the slightly heavier of the two. Maybe. But it's not significantly heavier. But the Paperwhite has the soft touch. Exactly. So see, so it's more that you can't grip it very well, or I can't with my dry fingertips. Anyway, so that's my problem. But anyway, so I ordered a case, and it's on its way. And I'll just have to try not to like fling it off the table onto the floor so many times that it breaks. But yeah, though the Oasis is put adhesive and glitter on it. There we go. Whatever is on my desk right now would be great as a cover of a device, because it's so sticky. So I've been reading a lot more since I got it, because like I said, I didn't realize how much the Paperwhite was annoying me, and I just was kind of avoiding it. So that's good. I just finished, I'll tell you, a book that I would rate okay. So like I said, my rating system is good, bad, okay. And I have the Kindle app on my tablet as well, Vesta, and I use it for certain things, graphic novels for one, but also like I have a book that I'm reading on it that has really strange formatting, called Immortalite, I think. Let me look it up. I don't think that's right. It's Latin. Illumine. All right, so Illumine, it's all like emails and memos and things like, and chat logs and stuff. So this was really hard to read on the regular Kindle. You know, stuff like this was really a problem on the regular Kindle. So we are making a folder that holds Polaroids. All right, so now that we have our Polaroids, let's cut them. So I have the top at 1 and the side at 1/4. And then we're just gonna do all of them, all 6 of them, and then we'll move. Gretchen doesn't like books that are written in no email format. I've never been a huge fan of epistolatory writing in general. I thought I would give this one a go because it was highly recommended to me. So we'll see. We'll see. And then I just finished Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. That one I rated just okay. That one was recommended to me as like Game of Thrones but in West Africa. And I think if it hadn't been pitched to me that way, there's a possibility I would have liked it better. But it's a YA novel. So that was I mean, it's just not Game of Thrones. It's and then on top of that, you know, it does seem like it's maybe the author's first book. There are some tropes and things that that, you know, are common in YA novels, but you know, they're not my favorite. Like people who fall instantly in love, stuff like that. That being said, it's a very interesting setting. The magic is interesting. If you like fantasy and you want something that's not sort of Western or Northern European inspired, you want something totally different, it's West African inspired. All right, so we've got that. And now I'm going to go through and cut all their bottoms off. And then we'll cut the sides. And then I'm 30% of the way through Cinder. Like I said, I'm trying to read 10% of the novel every day so that I have plenty of time to finish it. So I just have to read 10% of it tonight and I'll be caught up. Then I'm going to move this to 1/4 inch and we'll keep going. Oop, I think we're a little too long, maybe. We'll see. Melanie says, my biggest complaint about the punched out pieces do look like photo corners. Yes. All right, so we've got that, and then you have these. We can use them later in the album if we want. But yeah, often self-published books don't have a copy editing. But yeah, if you like teenagers saving the world books, if you and if you like YA, well, Teenagers Saving the World is a huge YA plot. So if you like YA, you can check it out. Like I said, I gave it an okay because it wasn't spectacular, amazing, 5 stars. But I don't consider that to be a bad rating. Most books I read get 3 stars, and I'm okay with that. Well, not 3 stars. They get an okay, which covers 2 through 4. So if I say a book is bad, it's bad. Got a little wiggle here. Just gonna clean it up a little bit. I've started doing the research for the February books because the February books, if you recall, are National Book Award winners. So that might be a little tougher. Especially because there are so many categories, the National Book Awards. So I've started pulling books from both fiction and nonfiction. And we'll see where we end up. How will I narrow it down to 3? Well, I've got 3 fiction and 2 nonfiction right now on my list, on my short list. So what I may do is 3 fiction and 2 nonfiction. The big issue will be choosing the genre. What I might do is do 1 from each genre and have you pick the genre. Do you want to read this fiction book or this nonfiction book? Or there's one that I, in particular, am really intrigued by because I've heard the audiobook is really superlative. And it won either... oh, and I only am picking from the last 5 years. So, I'm only taking ones from the last 5 years. That's another part of it. Alright, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos. Mostly because I just figured those would be easier to get if they came from the last 5 years. But the one I'm most interested in is Poet X, or Poet X, by, I think, Elizabeth Acevedo. All right, so I'm gonna, because a lot of it deals with someone trying to break into hip hop, and the author reads the book on the audiobook, and I believe it reads the verse in verse. So anything that's in verse, anything that's in rhythm, the author reads it with rhythm. So that's what sounded really interesting to me. Cindy, I'm talking about February. We're reading Cinder right now, for sure. We're talking about Cinder on January 30th. I'm a third of the way through it, just about. But I thought I would start early trying to pick a February book because it's the month where our prompt is to read a National Book Award winner, and I thought that might be a tougher one to choose. Anyway, so that sounded interesting because it sounded like a mashup of fiction and poetry. Yeah, we're reading Cinder first. We're reading Cinder right now. Cinder is the January book. I'm talking about February. Kind of like a genre mashup of fiction and poetry. Could be really interesting. So I'm going to go, on Saturday we're going to the library. I'm going to see if they have the 5 that are on my list, and maybe I'll read a chapter or 2 of them, and that'll help me narrow it down. So with Cinder, I don't know if they're a series, but I don't know if they're a series in the sense that they're like part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of a single story, or if it's just a series where she takes a fairy tale and retells it in a science fiction setting each time. So that's what I don't know about Cinder. I don't know. So they are called the lunar cycle or something like that, I believe. All right, so what we're going to do now, here's the folder from earlier. The Lunar Chronicles. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a good thing we left 1/8 of an inch, or else we would not be able to fit everybody in here. Oh, they are a continuous series? All right. Well, hopefully each book is a complete story in and of itself, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Or else then I will give it 1 star. 0 stars. Because even if you're writing a series, every single book needs to have a beginning and a middle and an end. And that's a big pet peeve of mine. If you only have 1 story to tell, you don't make 3 books by cutting it into thirds. Or you can, you can do whatever you want, but I will give you 1 star if you do. I did, when we were talking about how I don't rate too many books 1 star because usually books aren't written that poorly because publishers act as gatekeepers. I did not mention at the time that a quick way to get 1 star from me, or in my head, which I consider that I rate that bad, is to not have a beginning, a middle, and an end to your story. Is to not tell a complete story. And I don't mean I have to have every little thread resolved, but whatever the conflict of the first book is, it has to be different than the conflict of the arc as a whole, and it has to be resolved in the first book. All right, that's the rules. That's my rule, man. So, you know, if you don't want to do that, if you want to do something else, that's cool. But I will not rate that very well. All right, almost done adding our photos to our roids. I guess these are frames also. All right. So I'm going to get the ATG. And for the ones that are going to be on the inside, ATG is fine. I'm just going to put ATG on the back of the photo mats themselves. And if you have a suggestion, all right, there we go. See how I have a little bit of the edge showing there? Let me see if I can just... Oh, I didn't tape this. Okay, well that ends up being convenient because now I can cut this edge off. Past Kathryn made a boo-boo that saved me. All right. So I'm just going to trim off. There's a little sliver of the photo mat peeking through. Going to get rid of that. Just going to add more tape to the bottom. So, Okay, so we've got the inside, and see how much it's popping open. This is with leaving an extra 1/8 of an inch of breathing room. So it's a good thing we did. I just wonder if I should do a magnet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a magnet on the back. Or a disc on the back, and I'm going to see if that'll hold. No, it won't. Not with this. Maybe a bigger one. Okay. So the big magnets, I pretty much only use when the small magnets won't work. Is that my last big magnet? That might be my last big magnet. Wow. Oh dear. Okay. That looks like that's my last big magnet. So, I'm going to use it here. But on the next folder, we'll use 2 small magnets. And that should work. All right, so. And actually, we'll use not 2 small magnets, but 1 magnet and 1 metal piece. Because we can put them on the inside this time, where they're only going to be separated by the photos. All right. So on yours, you don't need a big magnet because you can do yours right from the start. And I'm lining up with the outside edge so that I have as much room in the middle as possible, again, so it will lay as flat as possible. And I see I have a little white hanging over, so I'm going to trim it. Before I stick that down, got to put the magnet It's not holding. What's the problem here? All right, well, they're only separated by 2 pieces of cardstock. I think I might have shifted the magnet. And the magnet's not stuck the magnet isn't hitting the disc when I closed it, because I felt the magnet slide and I was like, it's probably fine. It's clearly not fine. But with only 2 pieces of cardstock between them, we shouldn't have this problem. So I'm just going to have to pull up the other one. Okay. Let's see. All right, so it is holding with just these 2. So I'm just going to get rid of the magnet just in case, or the disc just in case. Ugh. What the heck? Well, I've got to wait for this to dry a little bit. I'm going to set it to the side to dry, and we'll decorate the other one while we're waiting for it to dry. All right. So this is the pocket it's going in. This is the front of the pocket, and it's going to be going in here. Okay. So we just need to put something right on the front. And let us do a card of some sort if we have a vertical card. Which we don't seem to, actually. Not a lot of vertical cards. So, alrighty. Hi Lee, welcome. So we could use this take photos and put it in between pattern paper at the top of the bottom. Oh, I'm so glad you're having fun. I'm slowly working on my split decision album as well. All right. Now let's see what we can do to fill in the top and bottom here. And I have this. All right, what do we think? Do we like the... Okay, let's try a few things. All right, so let's remember, first of all, the thing it's coming out of is red, black, craft. Basically, that's what's going on. So light blue, dark blue for sure. All right. So we don't need more red. It's going in this pocket. So that's not adding anything to the page. I don't want to do more red. Then the thing will just be red. The whole page will just be red. So okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna cut this to, well, it needs to be 4x7, but it's unfortunately it's not quite long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half. And I cut it crazy so I would know which side was which. Well, like I could hook that into each other later. All right, so I'm going to ink the edges. And then I'm going to stick this down. And see, it'll go down here. All right, now. And then for this piece, the blue piece, we'll cut it down to go right behind it. All right. Good work. So there we go. Now, after split decision, which we'll be working on probably till 2021, we will be working on the Catch a Tag Remastered. Catch a Tag Remastered. That's the next project coming up, which is a cruise project and a school project. We'll be doing 2 versions of that back to back. Barbara Jean says, matting used to be the most difficult. It always seemed like a race. Since watching your classes, my matting goes a lot slower and it's faster in the long run. Well, that is good, Barbara Jean. Because my whole thing, I've said this before, but it's not a race. It's just supposed to be fun. I mean, sometimes you have a deadline where you're trying to get a project done before, you know, a major event of some kind, and I understand you want to go faster in those moments. Of course. Yes, we've already got papers for those. It's the Cruisin' Cruise Line from Simple Stories. And I'm going to do some of the inserts with Remember the Magic, because those 2 papers go well together, and that way if people went on a rat raft, then they can get some ideas for matting. And then I think we're doing an Echo Park paper for the school one. Called School Days or something like that. I like how I said I think, like it's not under my control, or like I don't know. I mean, it's in the room with me somewhere. I already bought it. So, you know, I already do have it picked out. I don't think autofocus is on. Can I show you a sneak peek? No. No. I don't have a sneak peek for the Catch a Tag Remastered. Not today. But it, I'll have, before anything goes on sale, you'll see exactly what it looks like. So don't worry. You won't be buying anything that you haven't seen. Now it's 2-page styles. Well, it's 2-page styles that are 2 different orientations. So I guess technically 4-page styles, but basically 2-page styles. And it's designed to hold a bunch of photos pretty simply. So, I was going to say it would be good for mass production, but the mechanism where the tags are caught is, I don't want to use the word complicated. It's not complicated. It's, what to say? It's just it's involved. It's involved. All right, take photos. Photos inside. So now we just need to cover the back, and I'll cover the back with that red piece. Yeah, it's, you know, you have to use your craft knife, stuff like that. You know, there's tools involved. So that's really all it is. So I'm going to cut these down to 4 by 6 3/4, and I'll use one on each back. Will the mechanism be similar to the original Catch a Tag? That is both a yes and a no question. The yes is that the tag is caught in the mechanism in the same way that the tag was caught in the mechanism in the original Catch a Tag. The difference is the mechanism is different. So it's the tag gets caught in the thing the same way, but the thing is different this time. And it's that difference that accounts for the additional time to put the album together. Yeah, that's a technical term for it. The thing. What is it? It's like a frame, sort of. It's a sliding frame. It's a sliding frame with a pop-up frame. Look. It's definitely, it's one of those things where once you've made one, you can sail through a bunch of them. But getting the first one, you know, you need to pay attention is all. That's all. But if you do 6 of them, like if you do a 6-page book, you're only making 6 of them. And then we'll put a waterfall on the back of the pages, waterfall, some kind of waterfall type thing. Yeah, a learning curve. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Nothing is hard. You all know how to do it. You all know how to do it. If you can use a craft knife, if you can use a ruler, you can do it. You know, it'll just be just learning it. I don't want to scare you. I don't make hard things, do I? Don't answer that. Okay. Don't answer. It'll be easy. It'll be easy. It'll be easy and fun. We're going to have a good time with it. And then I'm going to put a divider between the pockets so we can stuff inserts in. Or I just haven't figured out how to do that yet. That's why there's no sample. So, you know, I guess that'll be an additional element. Is the fun part laughing at our mistakes? You mean the fun part for me? No, I would never laugh at your mistakes, at your creative opportunities. Plus, I mean, I know it's hard to believe, but I have made mistakes before. I know, sounds impossible, okay? I know, but it has happened. It has happened. Will you need lots of undo? You know what? I don't think so. If you made Catch a Tag or Pull and Pop, if you made either of those books, especially if you made both of those books, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. All right. So I don't want this to sound scary, because it's not scary. But what it is, okay. Do you want me to draw? I'll draw a picture of it. So you guys know that my drawings are amazing and should be in artworks, works of art. Okay, so this is just the mechanism. Remember, it goes portrait and landscape. And this is the portrait version. Okay. So, sitting on the page, this is what it looks like, all right? And I don't have one attached to a page right now, so that's why I'm drawing it for you. When you pull this tag, okay, this tag will pop up this centerpiece. All right. And then you'll see this, then there'll be a photo underneath. And then when you pull this tag, you pull this one, there'll be another photo underneath. Okay. So it's a 1-2 motion. Now, the reason I haven't totally decided on the idea is there's a couple alternatives I'm working with. Alternative one, the other alternative would be that I don't have this, and this is just a flap with like a little lift tab right here, and then you lift it up and you see the photo, and then you pull this tag. This tag at the top is always going to be here. All right, because this is the caught tag. Then you pull this tag and it reveals a photo. And then option 3 that I'm considering is the one that I'm sure you'll all want to do and vote for immediately. Which, when it's sitting on the page, it looks like a double slider. And then there's a caught tag up here at the top. And you pull this tag and it pulls up this middle piece. And then you pull this tag and it reveals a photo. And then you pull this tag and this tag is caught and it reveals a photo. So I just don't know which one I want to go with. Can they be mixed and matched? I mean, I guess we could do all 3 of them. Because they all are, well, they do all look different. So I haven't decided. All right, I haven't decided. But what you can see is when I say this is the remastered class, and when we're remastering books and people have asked if you have to have both tutorials, how hard would it be to do all versions? I mean, it's just 3 times as much work for me to write the album basics guide, which is, it's not that much more work. Okay, so it's not like, it would not, look, I mean, the album basics guides often have 6 or more variations in them anyways, so far. Like, because we've had 7. My catch and tag didn't work well for the tags that pulled out from the side. The ones from the top worked wonderfully. Oh, so the original catch a tag. Do I have a catch a tag? Yes. The mechanism for the tags that pull out from the side is different. And they had a tendency to get caught on each other inside the... Of course, when I say that, they worked perfectly. Let's see if these 2 will mess up. No. All right. But you can see how it has it's, I'm trying to capture this look on it. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Some of the side ones, oh, is it going back in? Going back in, they struggled. So the reason the ones on the side struggled more than the ones on the top is because the ones on the top had 2 channels to run. They had 2 score lines. The catching mechanism had 2 score lines to run against. Whereas the side ones don't. They only have 1 score line. And then in the middle... they don't have a channel. Because of the way I designed it, I was trying to make it easier, so I didn't do the double V. If I were going to do it again, I would do the double V in the middle. And then they would have runners. They would have channels to run against. So that's why how they twist and turn? That's because in the middle, they're separated by a free-floating piece of cardstock that keeps them from bumping into each other. Like, they can't catch on each other, but they have nothing. Not sure my family is smart enough to figure out option 3 if it has to be pulled out in order. Okay, so option 3, I see what you're saying about option 3. They don't have to be pulled out in order because if you pulled this one out first, you would just see its photo instead of its photo being revealed by this one and then pulling it out and seeing the third photo underneath. Does that make sense? So, like, in option, let's call this A, B, and C. A, B, C. This is how I draw everything, by the way. Even in my books where I'm planning albums. So in C, this one always has to get pulled first. In A and C, the ones that have the pop-up, they do have to be, that has to be pulled first or else the thing won't open. So the issue with C is they could pull this one first. Actually, we should make this one 1, because I think the tendency of right-handed people, which most people are right-handed, would be to pull the one on the right first. So we could make the pop-up pop this way. And this one, the pop-up will pop. We'll always put this one on the right. All right. Yeah. So then I think your tendency, once you pull the one on the right, to pull the one on the top or the one on the left. It doesn't really, it doesn't really matter. What would happen if you pulled them out of order is only that when you pulled one of them out, a new photo wouldn't be revealed because the other tag would be sitting on top of it. Does that make sense? So it would be slightly less dramatic because you would pull something and you would see that photo would become revealed, but it wouldn't, like, this wouldn't slide up and reveal it. Whatever, because when you pull this one up, it'll still reveal the one that's on the bottom. So that's the only thing that would happen. Like, mechanically, I'm not trying to design them so that they, well, actually, let me, because what I want to do is I want to put transparencies in between the layers so the layers can't get caught on each other. So I'm trying to, that way they can all run against the sides. So we'll see. But just because I know where the direction that something's going, and I know, like even if I work, so let's say I work out the math. The pages are attached to the spine. On the edge, well, in this one, we would need to be attached on the short, or else it would be a problem. It would have to go up. So with this one, it should really go up and down and to the right, so that you could attach on the long end. But it needs to be given with a poster to maximize their viewing pleasure. Yeah, so that's why I haven't decided if I'm going to do, like, that's why I was leaning away from this one and towards one of these two. This one was in third place. When I started it, they had way more photos and things were swinging everywhere. And I was just like, okay, calm down. Because, like you said, you want someone to be able to just pick up the book and look through it. This is what the popping mechanism will be like. So just to get an idea of it in action, you pull the tag and it pops up and reveals a photo. I also haven't decided if I want to make this one larger than 12 by 12 yet, because if I make it larger than 12 by 12, just a little, well, I always test them out before I give up on them. Don't worry. Don't worry. I have already thrown several of these in the trash. I make them. They don't just exist theoretically, if that's what you're worried about. Yes, Sandra. My recycling bin has several mechanisms from the Catch a Tag Remastered, because I always go through a stage in a project where I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. And you don't see those. When I've got it, what I think is right, that's what you see. All right. So, Sandra, yes, Kathryn Scraps water bottles, and I have a company. And I'm going to do a pre-order for that as part of Scrappy Bowl, so I make sure I get enough for everybody. And I'll have I think we'll have a couple different options as well. And then also, there may be another pre-order for a physical thing revealed on Scrappy Bowl. We shall see. Something that has to do with stamping. So we're gonna have a couple pre-orders running through Scrappy Bowl. Coffee mug, water bottle, maybe the mystery item, which would be is that we are officially sold out of the favorite photo stamp. Officially sold out of the favorite photo stamp with favorite spelled the American way. We still have Commonwealth spelling, but that's it. But maybe it'll be replaced with something similar, yet different. Perhaps. Perhaps. But yeah, I am in corresponding right now with Mira. They say they can do it. They have water bottles and coffee mugs, or well, beverage cups that can do hot or cold beverages. So we can get everything that you guys want. So yes, we're going to have quite a few. There's a lot going on for Scrappy Bowl. I'm so excited, and I want it to be here already. But it's only, I guess, it's only a few more weeks. It's only a few more weeks. But still, that is hot. We need t-shirts too. Okay, wow. I mean, I can do all of that. All right, so there's our other little book. All right, so these are here and here. So now we just need inserts for these front pockets. So let's just get a few little cards and goodies and things. Gangs always wear the same clothes. That's right. All right, so I will make sure that I have t-shirts as well. How is that? And we are going to do for t-shirts and mugs and also the stamp set, maybe, that we will do, I told you I would make another stamp if I ever had an idea for a stamp that I thought was really good. So guess what? We're going to do pre-sale because these all have to be manufactured. All right. They all have to be manufactured. So in order to make sure I get the right sizes on shirts, the right type of mugs and things like that, then Kathryn says, my friends will be wondering why I have something with my name spelled with a K. I was, yes, we will ship to Australia. And what we'll do is we'll put something that's the correct weight in the store for these pre-sale items so that when you pre-order, you'll see what the real shipping will be. I was thinking of them having, I was thinking of doing the designs I have for the shirts and mugs right now say Glitter Goddess, not Kathryn Scraps. So I figured that way, you know, it's about you. It's about you and how awesome you are. So, but yeah, all the graphics that I've come up with so far for that has been for Glitter Goddess. So, all right. It's about us. There we go, because we are all glitter goddesses. That's right. All right, so yeah, that's what I was thinking we would do. All right, let's get some cards. All right, so that sheet. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that there's not really a lot in the way of 4x6 cards. There's lots of 6x4 cards. There's not a lot of 4x6 cards, or I already used all of them. So well, whether or not it'll be glittery will depend. If it's not actual glitter, it'll be an image that looks sparkly. But I don't know. That, I think, is going to cost more. So to keep costs down, we may not go with actual glitter. So we'll see. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm still working with them. We'll get something figured out. If it can be actual glitter, then without it costing like 3 times as much, then we'll do actual glitter. But I do want to keep the prices reasonable if I can. As reasonable as I can. Yeah, I think we are going to just have to do the file folders. Like, I want to stick this to something. But the file folders, I don't know about the color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mats. So yeah, a lot of stuff is going to be coming out during Scrappy Bowl that will be, I guess, launching is what we'll say. So we'll have the t-shirts, we'll have the cups, we'll have the new stamp design. The new stamp design is not gonna overlap the old stamp design. So, you know, if you have the old stamp, you won't have two of that. All right. And then I'm gonna cut 4 3/8 inch, two 4 3/8 inch blue mats. And by doing 4 3/8, we just have a little bit more, a little thinner of a line than if we'd done 4 1/2. All right. So now do I see myself designing stamps or papers or something along those lines? Like, probably not as a full-time thing. I would only do it if there's an idea that I had that I really wanted to see executed and no one was executing it. But I just think there's a lot of places to get stamps and a lot of, I'm not a graphic designer, so I don't feel confident to do it unless my idea is like, oh yes, like if I can see it very clear, like this stamp set that I've been working on for a few months now, I'm really excited about. I think it's a really, really great idea. But I only have one of those every 5 years. So, because the last time I put out a stamp set was, you know, it was a minute ago, if you recall. So, like, you know, stamp companies that are putting out new stamps every quarter or every month, I don't think I have the skill for that. Or I'm just lazy, but you know, whichever, like it's still. Well, I'm not saying never, but I don't see myself doing it right now. I do like my stamp manufacturer a lot, and I'm happy to work with them. But again, our stamps are, you know, made in the USA out of photopolymer. But yeah, I'm excited about my new one. So I think you will be too, but you know, maybe you won't be. But it's just one design this time. So there won't be like an American spelling and a Commonwealth spelling. but I'm excited about it. Now, I don't know if I'll have it as a physical stamp to show you, but I will have the design sheet and I can explain it to you. Well, you'll be able to see it. And I'll be able to explain the trick to it. So, yes, I'm so excited. I'm so looking forward to February. For that, only this reason. Because I want a glitter mug too. We need a Days Till Scrappy Bowl countdown somewhere. That's got to exist, I'm sure. Anyway, it's going to be a blast. I don't know who is going to come visit me or what, but if we get some people down here, we should all go to the HSN store and live stream it on Facebook or something. All right, now what I'm going to do is on one of these, I'm going to do a little decorating. With the record the little things. So I'm going to cut this out. So just think, this year we're going to read at least twice as many books as the average American, which is 4. Or that's the most common. Most common number of books a person reads a year in the US is 4. So we're going to read, my goal is that we read at least 8. I mean, I'm shooting for 12, but you know, I have my like soft goal. And then the like, I'll be happy if we get to this goal, you know. You read 109 books. Thank you for finding me countdown apps. Bev and Candy. Bev says there's Days Until apps and countdown apps in the app store, and there's countdown.online.net has a Super Bowl one Candy found as well. The Super Bowl being the second most important thing happening on the first Sunday in February. That's great, Pat. I set myself the goal of reading 4 books that 48 books that I wouldn't normally go for. This year. So I created a folder with books that it's like I got when I was being aspirational, like, oh, I'm the type of person that would read whatever. And I'm trying to read 4 of those a month. this year, but I don't know what my total will be. Bev says, I enjoy reading, but I hate cleaning. Yes, I also enjoy reading, but hate cleaning. All right, so I'm going to put this like right here. Well, Candy, I don't know that I agree with your kids. I mean, reading is an activity, not a, you know, it's not, you're not reading if you're reading, say, the newspaper. If you're reading the newspaper, you're still reading. Reading is the activity. And, like I told you before, neurologists found that the same part of your brain is lighting up when you're reading, when you're listening to an audiobook as when you read a physical book. So my guess is the same part of your brain is lighting up when you read books that you think are silly. You should read what you like and tell other people to pound sand. Jill says, I clean way more than I read. Maybe that's my problem. And now Barbara Jean's offering to read to people while they clean her house. If they want to come clean her house, she'll read to them. Such a giving group. I know, it's amazing. Priya listens to audiobooks while cleaning. All right. I didn't keep track of how many books I read in the past few years. So, I mean, I did one year set myself the goal of reading a book a day, and I got awfully close. I got awfully close. Closer than I ever thought I would get. The year that I set myself a goal of reading a book a day, I did not expect to read a book a day. It was more so that it was to read a significant amount every day. And I set myself that goal in a time. Well, see, I have not been good about Goodreads. So on the Kindle I just got, when Amazon was like, do you want me to spy on you for Goodreads? I was like, sure, go ahead. So now my Goodreads account will actually get updated. All right. So record the little things. Here's the spread. Of course, it swings out with the tab, and we have left the gap so we can slide it onto the fin when we get to the point where we're making fins. Take photos. 4 photos in those 2 pockets, and then over here. 4 photos here, or excuse me, 5 photos here, so 9 photos on this page. And these two make it 11. So that's this page done. And when we come back tonight, we'll be working on the last full-sized page in the book. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We are getting there, friends. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time, which is roughly 4 hours from now. So whatever time it is where you are now, add 5 hours to that, and that's when I'll be back. Remember that the book of the month for our book club is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. And I will be discussing that the last Thursday of the month. What else? Scrappy Bowl is here in less than a month. Yay! And we have all kinds of cool stuff coming up on the channel. We have another album coming out soon. All kinds of good stuff. So I am looking forward to a super fun 2020 with all of you. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.